We want to show respect and pay honor to these fallen riders this afternoon. We have a lot of veterans that ride, of course, and we have many veterans that are on the, that we placed on the cross back in December last year. And we've got 5 or 6 more that are being added this year. And in memory and in honor of them, we'd like to play the national anthem for those folks. So if you will stand with us, rise with us, and we'll do the national anthem. Thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. Go ahead and have a seat. My name is Richard Grimmett, a.k.a. Grimm. I've been the one that's been pestering you on Facebook, on all your websites for the last 6 months, especially the last 6 weeks. But I wanted to get the word out about what we do here for the Bikers Fallen Riders Memorial of Arkansas. This memorial was placed back in 2005, or made back in 2005, placed down in Cleveland County, down at the Marks Mills Cemetery, the first home it had. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a wonderful cemetery down there, Civil War cemetery. Got a lot of antiques and things down there. But I found that place and I took the cross down there and I placed it on the grounds there with the permission of the people. But it was such a long ways down there from Jefferson County, Pine Bluff, where we originally had this. And so Avake District 20 was the caretaker of it at the time, and it was just a long way down there, and then there's a lot of gravel, and the guys didn't want to ride on the gravel to get back there to that cemetery. So that was in 2005. In 2009, I moved it from Marks Mills up to Cedar Ranch Cemetery in Grant County, and we had several services there through the Nucleus Riding Team, Avake District 20, and the Genesis Riders Christian Motorcycles group there in Pine Bluff. We sponsored it. And anyway, it was very well. It was very well done. But nothing really happened with it. We couldn't get the word out about it, do anything until really Facebook came along. And then until last year. In 2012, 2013, I relinquished control to the memorial to another group there in Pine Bluff. And I went down there last year and found that it was not being taken care of properly like I thought it should have been. And told the president that I was going to pull it out of the ground and take it away. And he said, go right ahead. So I did that. And I put it in my garage, I cleaned it up, put a word out on Facebook that I needed to have a home for the memorial. And a fellow by the name of Marty Gustafson. Is Marty here today by chance? He's probably in Bikes Blues. Something going up to north there. He's probably up there. But anyway, Marty said, get in touch with Linda over at the Museum of Veterans and Military History and see if she wants to do something for you. So I contacted Linda. She said, come see me. That was on Labor Day of last year. And we contacted her. We came over here, and my wife and I actually came over here on Labor Day and talked with her and told her what we had and showed her some pictures. And she said, you know, we'd be honored if you would put that memorial here on our grounds. And I said, okay, well, we'd love to have it here. Where would you like it? And I was expecting it, honestly, to go out here in the woods somewhere. I just figured that that's where it was going to go. We was going to put it out there. And she led me to that spot right there. And she said, we'd like for you to place it right here for all the people to see when they pull up on the parking lot. And I was beside myself, and I said, we would be glad to do this thing. So I went to my home group, which was A8 District 13 out of Jacksonville, told them what we were doing, and lo and behold, they said, they got behind me that night, and I told them, I said, we're going to need to put concrete down, get benches down, do all this, we want to do it right. And by the time I left that meeting that night, I had like $700 in my pocket that they just handed me, just said, here, take this, do what you can do. And so we did. We came out here, we got contractors, which was this man right here basically, to put the form down, and we got the cross put in place. A8 District 13 turned around and bought the benches for us, we bought the flags, we put everything up, we started talking about this, and lo and behold, in December, I was feeling a big urge to have a service out here since we just put it in place. And so we had Eve, where's Eve? My secretary, one of my secretaries, she's back there somewhere, I believe. Oh, how you doing? I'm sorry. When you're up here in front of people, you kind of get crazy. How many names did we do? 21 last year?
20, 21.
I believe 21 names we added last December after we brought it up here. People heard about us, and so we added 21 names, had a service here, and had a very good crowd that day. I was very surprised on a cool December day. We had a good crowd come out, and at any rate, Bikers Fallen Riders Memorial was born at this place, basically. And it was under the name of the Arkansas Fallen Riders Association, which is what I started back in 2009, and then left them in 2012, and then last year started this organization. And I hate the fact that we have to keep adding names. Our fellow brothers and sisters are getting slaughtered on the highways, and I realize some of the people just pull it out in front of them, and I realize there's other things that happen with the bikers losing control of their bikes also. But nevertheless, turn around and look at the sun hitting it now. That's for me, that's a pretty sight, ladies and gentlemen. That sun came over and hitting those name tags like that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but I just happened to see it shining, glistening like that. But anyway, we've gathered here today. We've got 19 names to add today that we've already actually added, put them on today just to help the service move a little faster. But 19 names of fellows and ladies and gentlemen that died. We've already got a list started for next year. I got 2 more names this morning. I keep getting calls, getting listings. I sit and listen to people who call, mothers who call, fathers who call, brothers and sisters and friends who call me at night because my number's out there, and they are weeping on the other end of the phone. And I get very emotional over this whole situation. I'm not exactly sure why, but God put this in my heart to do this. I've had 2 bad motorcycle accidents myself, totaled out 2 motorcycles within 6 weeks. I should be dead and in the ground and riding myself. But God had another reason for me to live. And I believe it was to stand before you here today. If I could go back to the sequence of events that led to this day, this time, you'd be astounded at what happened. One person I met, whose daddy rode a motorcycle. His name is Don Null. He's here today. I met him. He got me involved with District 13. He got me involved with that Arkansas Bikers for Children. And it led from that to this moment and what we're doing today. So I'm thankful and grateful for all the sequence events. Everything that even looked like a setback in my life turned out to be a setup for this day. And I just look at it like that. And I'm thankful. And I got to give God thankful. I'm thankful. Just got to say thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. I'm grateful. And if I didn't do that, He would probably slap me down. I'm thankful. I want to say a word of prayer now, and I want to bless the family, bless this event. I'm going to call the names. I've got a list here of the names of the people that are going to come up. And when I call the name, I'm not sure who's going to come up and speak on behalf. But when I call the name, if someone will come up, if you knew the person, if you're the loved one that's here to speak on that behalf of that person, I'd appreciate it if you just come right on up, all right? First of all, I just want to say a prayer over this situation, all right? Father, I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful for this day and this opportunity that you've given me to stand before these people. For the families that are here today, God, I lift each and every one up to you. I know it's been 5, 6 years for some of them since the loss of their loved one. But God, the pain is still real. And the pain is real to me, and I feel their pain. And I ask you, Father, today that you bless this event, that you bless each biker that's here today, each one that rode in today. I ask a blessing on their bikes and on themselves today, Father, that you protect them and keep them as they ride up down these highways. For those that couldn't make it today for one reason or another, I lift them up to you too, God. I hate to see bikes go down. I hate to hear about things going down. The gentleman up in Forest City, Green Forest this week, God, first day of BBB, that went down and was killed, Father. I lift up that family to you now. I thank you for this opportunity, God. I can't say that enough. Thank you. And bless this event this day and the people that helped me put it together. I thank you, God. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Good weather. Good weather. Good weather. I'm going to ask the family of Russell Adams, please. Russell Adams, give us your name. Tell us about Russell. Come on.
Russ was my husband 30 years, and he started riding a bike. He was like 12, had a couple of accidents, and got involved in life. He got back on the bike about 4 years ago. Loved it, loved the family that he found out there, and he would want to say to any and everybody that he had a heck of a life, and he enjoyed every moment of it, and the ride on. Thank you.
Bill Allen. Bill Allen.
My name's Dale. Bill Allen was he was my best friend. I had known him for a long time, and his wife and stepdaughter and some family are here today to honor him. I just want to say that he was a wonderful person, a great guy. He was a man of his word. He also was a man who spent a lot of time in a place where a lot of people in Arkansas are right now, and that's the state penitentiary. But Bill Allen was a different person than your average convict or criminal. He had led a life of drugs and living in the fast lane. He was a very accomplished drugstore robber. And he received a 50-year sentence in prison, and he done 27 years. And that's where I met Bill at, was in the state penitentiary. And we had become good friends, we became cellmates. And I just want to put all this out here because I think he would want to share it with people. He tried to do that when he got out of prison. He wrote his own autobiography while he was in prison. And then he got out and he used that book that he wrote about himself and his life and how drugs had messed his life up and how that had taken away everything from him. But he was able to get into programs in prison and turn himself around and finally make parole after 27 years. And when he got out, he used all that for the good, and he would go around and he would talk to crowds like this all the time at VFW, just some schools. Bill was really trying to do a lot for I guess, to make amends for all that he had done wrong. And I think he accomplished that. With just 6 years is all he was out when he had this accident and it killed him. But he's going to be very missed by a lot of people. Especially I know his wife Debbie and me. But we all loved him, and we know he's up there in heaven now. I believe he is, and he's looking down on us, and he's proud of himself, and we're all proud of what he did. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
If I may interject here, one thing I don't want to do is just put names on a cross and you not know who they are. I want to know who they are, what they were, what they did. So that's what we're doing this for. Mark Gator Anderson.
Hi, my name is Doug Little. Mark and I grew up from childhood. He was one of my best friends. Mark had a rough life here and there, like everybody else. He was a very good guy, very upstanding. He'd give you his word on something, you could bet it was going to be done. he rode motorcycles all of his life. He wrenched on bikes all the time. He had one that he had just was working on building and putting together, custom job for himself. And then he bought another new bike, and that's the one that he was killed on. He was just an upstanding guy, and he's going to be missed very much. So, just everybody have a prayer when this is all over for all the riders here and for the ones that are gone. And just thank you.
Marty Byers. Marty Byers. Okay. Well, I met Marty about 5 or 6 years ago working for Wild Hog Saloon, the Wild Hog Music Festival. We got to be good friends. We had several things in common, several of the motorcycling was the main one. And that's the reason I'm here today. I just met his lovely daughter today. I've never met her before and met her today here. That's the reason I'm here, because of our love for motorcycling. That's it. I didn't hear that one part. Is this part of your wife?
Your daughter.
His daughter, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Somebody's making noise over there. I'm sorry, man. Daniel Danny Ray Cox. Daniel Danny Ray Cox. Only thing I know about Danny is that he was a veteran. And that's enough to know right there. He fought for my country, so I thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Weston Fitz. Weston Fitz.
I'm not part of his family, but I do know his
Okay,
family.
good, thank you. I'd like to hear something about it.
He was a small town kid. Population less than 3,000 and loved by everyone. And I know his mama is hurting so bad at him. It was a freak thing and he was hit by somebody driving a vehicle. And he will be definitely missed by his family and friends and his classmates.
Jason Clay Hulse. Jason Clay Hulse. He was born July 29th, 1979, died June 28th, 2018. It's not being so far away. No one's here for Jason today. I know I talked to the family. Okay.
Sorry, Richard.
Chief Joe Landers. I heard about this one when it happened.
Joe was my dad. He was law enforcement for 17 years. He started out in county jail, worked his way up to chief of detectives, and eventually took chief of police job in Little Arkansas. He was in Florida at Thunder Beach Rally in 2012 where he was hit and killed by a drunk driver. The gentleman took off and they found him hours later in somebody's front yard, passed out in his car with glass still in his lap. My dad was in law enforcement and, growing up we'd see the big bad bikers. Dad never seen it that way. He'd ride along beside them, and hearing some of these stories out here about these guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you're on two wheels. It's family, and the family has stood behind me and my brother along the way, and the support that we got from the community is amazing. He was a good guy. He didn't judge anybody. I asked him one time if he'd locked any bad guys up, and I locked some people up. And I think that's when it clicked for me that he wasn't out there to judge anybody. He was doing his job. And he told me, he said, if I took this job, he said, I took it to save lives. And he said, these guys that I arrest, it's no different for them. He said, if I can say one thing that resonates with them that saves their life, then I've done my job. I hadn't really planned on doing this here, but Graham, we'd like to make a donation to the Fallen Bikers Memorial in honor of my father. And you guys ride safe out there, and I feel for all y'all that's lost family members. And I wish there was a way to stop it. I don't think that there is a good solution, but just keep in mind, and if you're in your car, watch for bikers, and if you're on your bike, guys, I'm from Fayetteville, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecues in town, and I've seen people on motorcycles doing some of the dumbest stuff. I ride myself. We have a tendency to feel invincible, but we're not. So thank you guys for doing this, Brown. Thank all you guys for being here, and prayers to everybody.
Sean Christopher Leverage. Did anyone make it for Sean? Tammy called me this morning, and she had planned on coming. I've been in constant contact with Tammy, and apparently something happened today. She was not able to make it. I really don't know a lot about Sean. He was a United States veteran. He was born March 17th, 1978, died May 16th, 2017 as a result of a motorcycle accident. So thank you, Sean. William Bill Scott. William Bill Scott. Also a United States veteran.
Bill Scott was my dad, and he passed away in March. He served in the United States Army in the late 80s and early 90s. Growing up, he used to tell me that there are two kinds of motorcycle riders: people that have laid out a bike and people that haven't laid it out yet. He would be honored to be part of this group with all of you, because everyone on a motorcycle was his brother and sister. So stay safe out there, not just for him, for everyone else here. This is his youngest grandson, Eli. He loved being a grandpa. He's got 2 other grandsons, and he loved it more than anything in the world, and he wanted to teach them one day. So, thank you.
Cody Lee Stevenson. Cody Lee Stevenson, United States veteran. Born April 9th, 1987, passed February 19th, 2016. Cody Lee Stevenson. Brittany Conklin Stringer. Brittany Conklin Stringer. Now I know these folks are here, we're going to be here today. Brittany was from Malvern. I know that Miss Thomason was supposed to be here today. Did she? Nothing? Well, I heard a lot of stories about this young lady. I was really hoping y'all could hear too. But anyway, she was killed on May the 25th, 2017, when someone pulled out in front of her as she was riding her bike through town, through Malvern. Lonnie Thomas. Lonnie Thomas.
Hi, my name is Sherry. Lonnie Thomas was my younger brother. It's been 4 years since he's moved on. So I really appreciate having a place that's honoring, because as well as all of you know, when you lose someone, especially when they're taken out by a cage, they're stolen a lot quicker than they should be. And it puts us in that family that bikers only know anyway. But to tell you a little bit about my brother, he was just 49 when he died. He was quite a character. He loved to play jokes and stuff, but Lonnie had ridden a motorcycle 40 of his 49 years. He started at the age of 9 thanks to my older brother buying him a bike and my dad not happy at all. Though both of my brothers motocrossed pretty much all their life. Lonnie motocrossed until he was in his 40s. He actually represented Arkansas once on Team Kawasaki. I was so proud of him. I went to all of his races I could. He was really good. He also, of course, loved street bikes. He was so proud of when he finally could afford a Harley, and he got it. And he hadn't even had it a year when he was in Eureka Springs and a car pulled out or did a U-turn in front of him and took him and his wife out. Luckily, she survived. But he was a really good guy. I quit riding myself for a year after that, and decided the best way to honor him was to get back on my bike, because that's what he would have wanted. Because he was the only man who ever got behind me on a bike when I first decided to get another bike. And even my own husband's scared to do that today. But he got me back out there. He worried about me. I never really worried about him on it because he was such a good rider. And after he died, I realized that no matter how good of a bike rider you are, you can't always avoid things, because if it could have been avoided, he would have been one of those that could have done it. So just try to, we always have to stay hyper vigilant out there and teach these people to watch out for us, because we don't want any other families joining our group. Because this is a memorial wall I don't like to add names to. Thank you.
Junior Lee Thompson.
My name is Judy McDougall, and I was with Junior Thompson for 36 years. We lost him 3 months ago yesterday. He was in the Marines. He served 2 tours in Vietnam. And like the lady who just spoke, his dream bike was his Harley. And he had it, 2 months? But he had his dream. He had his Harley. Thank you.
My name is Johnny Thompson. My dad was Junior Thompson. That's our family. Judy back here in the back corner here. He loved outdoors and he loved riding motorcycles, and he always told me about how free he felt when he was on his bike. I myself don't ride bikes, but I could see how he felt free riding his. He was an honor to have his name up there on that cross out there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Justin Swede Waldron. Anyone for Justin? Justin Swede Waldron. Justin was born February 6, 1996. Passed June 17, 2018. Just a short time ago. No one for Justin. Christopher Lee Webb.
My name is Sherry. I'm Chris's mom. This is my husband Al, his father. We wrote all this down and it's a little long, so I apologize now if I'm rattling on and on. Chris passed away 3.5 years ago in June 28th. He was riding his motorcycle, his Busa, from Searcy back to Little Rock, and he looked down for just a split second to answer a text message, and that's all it took. He was in a curve and he hit the median rails, and you miss him every day. He was always an intense person from childhood. As a boy, he was constantly moving, laughing, and talking. The energy that followed him into adolescence was when he began to develop a hunger for chasing thrills and living on the edge. He wanted so badly to own a motorcycle, but all he could manage to get was a moped that topped out at 40 miles an hour. But true Chris style, he strutted around as if that scooter was the top of the line Hayabusa. A defining moment in Chris's life came on Christmas night in 1998, just 5 days shy of his 16th birthday, when his older brother Nick was killed in a car accident. Chris's deep sorrow over the loss of his brother plunged him into a lifetime of reckless abandon. Over the following 17 years of his life, Chris would never really stop mourning his brother. He lived each day as if it were his last, as if he were living both for himself and his brother. When we think about him today, we remember him as someone who never met a stranger. His casual, welcoming charm could have a perfect stranger feeling like an old friend within a matter of minutes. Chris had a way about him that made you feel as if no matter what you were going through, he had been there too, and he would hold your hand through it. Chris's younger brother, Matthew, remembers how Chris stepped up to fill Nick's shoes, his oldest brother. Chris loved to go duck hunting with his buddy, but he refused to leave his little brother behind. Chris made sure that Matthew always was welcomed and included. Chris's oldest sister, Jamie, remembers how Chris would occasionally stop by her house for dinner and a chat, and she would always tell him to be careful and stay out of trouble when he left. Shortly before he died, they ran into each other at Walmart, and Jamie's kids, my grandkids, were excited to see their Uncle Chris, and he bought them crayons and coloring books right there on the spot. Just 2 days before he died, she sent him a text message saying, "Just wanted to tell you I love you," and he responded, "I love you too, big sis." And finally, probably the biggest comfort that we have in losing Chris is that he left his son Nicholas with us to carry on his memory. It is amazing to watch the similarity between Chris and Nicholas's expressions and mannerisms, even the way he tells his stories and the confident, casual way he carries himself as he walks. Just being around Nicholas is a bittersweet way. It's like being with Chris again. Nicholas, your father would be so very proud of you. There's so many stories we'd like to share about Chris's mischievous antics and acts of kindness towards his friends and family. We still miss him every day. The sting of his passing has not dulled over these past 3.5 years, but we're so grateful for all the love and support that his friends have shown us. We would give almost anything if we could turn back the time and make it so Chris's name would never be eligible to be placed on this memorial. Each time we remember Chris, we'd like to remember how he lived, and boy did he live. But we want you to know how grateful we are for his kindness, for your kindness, and here along with so many others who we lost too soon. God bless all of you.
I would like to say that when we lost Chris, I had never seen such an outpouring of love to the motorcycle family as I did when we lost him. And I just want to thank all of you, all the motorcycle groups in the Pacific part of the state. Thank you so much.
See, we all ride different bikes, man. We got all these different bikes out there. Everything out there right now is different. But it's just a family. When you go down the road, it's a family. It's just a family. You don't care what color you are, how tall you are, how short you are. It's just a family. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna, well, y'all, is this Baptist? Y'all Baptist? Do I have any Assembly of God here? Anybody that's Baptist? I know it's a memorial service, but yet it's a memorial. It's gonna be good. It's good. These families get to talk about these folks, and I get to hear about these folks. I know some of the people on that cross, and it feels good to hear about them, to know about them. I'm not just putting names on there, because I come out here sometimes and I just read all the names off by myself. If you come out here, feel free to read the names off, put them back out in the universe. Let these people know. Jonathan Ray Wilson. Jonathan Ray Wilson. Jonathan Ray was born April the 1st of 1999. Died June 24th, 2018. Young man. Ricky Joe Pops Wilson. Met this young man a couple weeks ago. He and his wife have been talking. and glad to meet him.
Pops, as we know him, was a veteran. Also fought the fight to empower kids to not be afraid in the world in which they live in. And he was one of my Baca brothers. I asked his son, who can't be here today, what would you say? He would say, Pops would say, straight up, because he was just straight up kind of guy. And we've seen so many people pass here lately. It's just cages hitting people, and it's just, I don't know, it tears me up sometimes, but it's like my wife said, she was afraid to get on her bike, but I just get on my bike and try to remember those folks as I'm riding. So be safe out there, everybody, and just remember those that have fallen and keep their families in your prayers.
And the last one, Adam Youngblood. Adam Youngblood.
Well, it's been 10 years since Adam died. Seems like yesterday. Him and my brother, my blood brother, were both on the cross. And so because people driving with their head in their ass. Adam died less than a mile from where he lived. My little brother, you could see his driveway where he died. Just because you're close to home doesn't mean you're safe. Every day. Just think of him every day.
We live in a dangerous world. A lot of things going around about us. We make that world even more dangerous by what we do. But we do what we do because, man, we love it. I get out there and I get myself in the wind, and there's just nothing. I have church. We played that song by Marion Morris a moment ago. My church talks about getting in a car and riding around with the music playing, and putting the car and driving, going around and having a good time. When I get on my motorcycle, I'm having a good time. When you guys get on, I know you do the same thing. You get out there. Sometimes it's been some Sunday mornings I've headed to church and just kept going because I was having church on that bike because I was looking at what God had made out there, the beauty that He'd made. And I just had a great time just riding, just praying, and having a good time riding, waving at other riders out there. I love what I do. I love that memorial out there. I love what it stands for. I don't like putting names on it, but it's going to happen. Like I said earlier, we've already got names for next year that people have asked us to add, and so we'll have another service next, probably the last weekend of September. I know Bikes, Blues, and Barbecues goes on, but there's something going on about every weekend, every year with Motorcycle Group now. I'll probably just keep it at this time, and we may have crowds like this, we may have bigger crowds, or we may not have crowds at all. I don't know. But I'm going to, as long as a biker gets killed and a family needs help, needs to be talked to, needs to hear from someone, needs to know that their loved one's not going to be forgotten. And as long as Richard Grimmett is around, he's going to take care of this and do this. I've got a wonderful wife. Let me say thank you to my wife, Micah, who's standing down here. Elvie standing next to her. Help. Billy. McKinley helped. Eve. Good Lord. Eve, my friend, Frank's wife, Eve, and Eve's husband, Frank, have helped me tremendously. This lady takes care of all the stuff, that you see down there at the table, helps me with all the names, all the people calling in, because I could not do it on my own, so she helps tremendously with that, and I'm very grateful for them, for ABA District 13, for helping me get all this started, doing this out here. I thank each and every one of you for coming out today and being a part of this. And I'm not sure where to end this, how I should end this. but it needs to come to a close. But I thank y'all for coming. I appreciate you coming. I ask you just be careful out there. Look twice, save a life. Guys, even if you're riding, look twice, look 3 times. I get to where I looked a lot before I pull out of any intersection just because I don't want to be one of those cagers that takes out one of my brothers. So just keep an eye on what's going on, what's happening out there, all right? We're going to play Amazing Grace. I like to end it with Amazing Grace. So Billy, if you will, if you feel stand with us here for a moment, please.